Next, the question is, what's wrong with milk and dairy? You see, first you have to understand what is milk. All mothers, including cows and buffaloes, lactate milk for their babies. Milk is nature's food for a newborn mammal because baby mammals do not have teeth and they cannot chew solid food. Once the baby mammal has grown solid teeth, then he or she begins weaning from their mothers. However, we humans are the only species who, after having grown teeth, we still drink milk, but we do so by stealing the milk of another animal. Now, just like us humans who are mammals, cows and buffaloes produce milk only when they are pregnant or after having given birth. So how does a cow or buffalo get pregnant in an Indian dairy farm? A cow is tied up forcibly against her will. A man takes his fist and shoves it, as you saw in the video, into the cow's anus. A steel catheter containing bull semen is then directly shoved into her vagina, and she is shot with bull semen. This is how they're made pregnant. Now think for a moment. To forcibly tie someone up against their will and make them pregnant. If this action were done to a human being in our society, what would we call it? Rape? A violation? But do you know what it's called if done to a cow or buffalo? It's called milk, ghee, curd, cheese, butter, lassi, paneer, kulfi, ice cream, milk chocolates, and double cheese pizza with stuffed crust. That's what we call it. Once she does give birth, the fate of that baby, like the egg industry, depends on its gender. In case the baby born is a male baby, he is considered useless to the dairy industry because a bull cannot produce milk. Therefore, the day he is born, he is taken from his mother and sold to the slaughterhouse so that he can be killed and his supple skin can be made into magnificent leather shoes, belts, jackets, and purses. In case the baby born is a female, she too is separated from her mother and she is given only a fraction of the milk her mother produces, just enough in order to keep her alive. And the remainder of her rightful milk is all stolen, put into packets, and sold to us. Now, once this female baby comes to age, she will also undergo the same fate as her mother with forced impregnations, and the whole cycle will repeat itself forever. Now, understand that these cows and buffaloes are emotional and complex beings. After being forcefully impregnated for year after year, having the babies taken from them each and every time, they become both physically and mentally distraught. The pain and anguish with which a mother cow screams for days on end in a dairy farm for a stolen baby to be given back is no different from a human mother being held down at birth and screaming for her child to be given back. Now, once a cow becomes old and no longer profitable for the dairy industry, she too is sold off to the slaughterhouse. She is transported in the most horrible ways imaginable. Green chili is stuffed into her eyes. She is poked with sharp pieces like glass piece on her anus, and she is beaten with rods and hooks to force her to get onto a lorry that will take her to her murder. Understand that these animals are not stupid. They understand what's going on is wrong. Something wrong is going on, which is why they need to be forced to do so. At the slaughterhouse, as you saw in the video, a huge hammer is smashed to her head, and then a knife slits her throat. This is the life cycle of a cow or buffalo in an Indian dairy farm, and this is why people like myself and so many others have stopped consuming dairy products as well. And just think about this if you don't believe me. Are you aware that India is one of the leading exporters of beef on earth? Think for a moment, how is that possible in a country where people claim to worship cows and that cows are sacred? How can that be possible? In a country where no one raises cows and buffaloes for the sole purpose of eating their flesh, how could that be possible? It's because, like I said earlier, every cow and buffalo who is no longer fit to be a milk slave is eventually sold off to the slaughterhouse. Which is why I tell people who say that they are pure vegetarian, in case you want to continue drinking milk even after knowing the truth, please eat beef. I don't say this to offend anyone's sentiments, because whether you choose to eat beef or drink milk or wear leather, it makes zero difference for the animal. The dairy industry, the leather industry, and the beef industry all work hand in hand. They are just different sides of the same coin.